Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to our beloved lecturer, which is Prof. Dr. Muhammad Hafizan Afia. My name is Muhammad Alifalim bin Yahya, and my partner is Nurin Karmila. And also shout out to our supervisor, which is Sir Muhammad Afizi bin Mansur. So today we are gonna presenting about our research entitled Perceived Platform Usefulness, User Participation Behavior, and Value Co-Creation among Generation Z, a case of TripAdvisor digital platform. Okay, for introduction, digital tourism platform have changed the way people search for travel information and plan their trips. Nowadays, travelers no longer depend only on travel agency because they can easily access review, rating, and recommendations through online. TripAdvisor is one of the largest travel platform in the world, offering billions of reviews that help travelers make better travel decisions. Generation Z is highly dependent on smartphone and social media, making digital platform an important part of their travel planning. So therefore, this study aims to understand how perceived platform usefulness and user participation behavior influence value co-creation among Generation Z on TripAdvisor. This study was conducted in Malaysia and focused on Generation Z users who have experience using TripAdvisor. Malaysia has a high internet and smartphone usage rate, making it a suitable location to study digital tourism platform usage. So the target respondent are Generation Z, individuals who have searched for travel information, use review, or share their travel experience on TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor was selected because it's one of the largest user-generated travel platform, where users actively contribute reviews, rating, and also recommendation. The first research problem is that although Generation Z represent one of the largest travel market segmentation, their engagement with TripAdvisor is still not fully understood. The second problem is that previous studies mainly focus on ecotourism or general tourism platform, while research specifically on TripAdvisor and Generation Z is still limited. Okay, the third problem is that many younger travelers now prefer platforms like TikTok and Instagram instead of TripAdvisor when planning their trips. The fourth problem is that there is still limited empirical evidence explaining whether perceived platform usefulness and user participation behavior influence value co-creation among Generation Z users. Okay, now moving on to the research gap. The first gap is that previous studies mainly focus on general tourism platform rather than specifically on TripAdvisor. The second gap is that only a limited number of study focus specifically on Generation Z, even though they are one of the fastest growing group of digital travelers. The third research gap is that the relationship between perceived platform usefulness, user participation behavior, and value co-creation has not been comprehensively examined among Generation Z users on TripAdvisor. This study has two research objectives. The first objective is to understand perceived platform usefulness, user participation behavior, and value co-creation among Generation Z through the TripAdvisor digital platform. The second objective is to investigate the relationship between perceived platform usefulness, user participation behavior, and value co-creation among Generation Z. This slide shows the conceptual framework of the study. There are two independent variables, which are perceived platform usefulness and user participation behavior, while the dependent variable is value co-creation. So this framework illustrates that both independent variables are expected to have a positive influence on value co-creation among Generation Z users of TripAdvisor. Now I will explain the first study variable, which is perceived platform usefulness. Perceived platform usefulness refers to the extent to which Generation Z users believe that TripAdvisor helps them research for travel information, evaluate different options, and make better travel decisions. When users find this platform useful, they are more likely to continue using TripAdvisor for future travel planning and information searching. The second variable is user participation behavior. It refers to users' activities such as writing reviews, giving rating, uploading photos, commenting and interacting with other travelers on TripAdvisor. The dependent variable is value co-creation, which is value co-creation happens when users actively share their travel experience, review and recommendation, creating valuable information that benefit both other travelers and the TripAdvisor platform.
My name is Nuri Kamila. Now I will continue the presentation about the hypothesis. Next, I would like to explain the research hypothesis of the study. So the research is purpose to hypothesis. The first hypothesis H1 suggests that perceived platform usefulness has a positive relationship with value co-creation. This means that when the generation Gen Z user perceive TripAdvisor as useful for planning and making a travel, so they are more likely to contribute the valuable content of the platform. The second hypothesis that we can see H2 propose that user participation behavior is positively related to the value co-creation. In other words, user can use who actively write the review and give the rating or share the travel experience were expected to contribute more valuable to the TripAdvisor community. Alright, next about the research methodology. This study is adopt a quantitative research approach using a cross-sectional survey design under the positivism research paradigm. The quantitative approach is selected because it allows to research to collect the numerical data and statistically test the proposed hypothesis. So, this study is focused on generation of the Gen Z user in Malaysia who have the previous experience using the TripAdvisor. Data will be collected through an online questionnaire and analysis using the SPSS. I will continue about the sampling. So for the sampling method, for the study use non-probability purpose sampling. So this technique is chosen because only respondents who meet the research requirement are selected. And since there is no complete list of the TripAdvisor users in Malaysia, purposive sampling is considered the most appropriate method. That based on green formula, the minimum required sample size is 66 respondents, although the larger samples encouraged to improve the reliability of the finding. This I will continue about the inclusion criteria. The participant in this study that must fulfill the service inclusion criteria. For the first, they must belong to the generation Gen Z, which refer to individual born between the 1997 and 2012. And second, they must be the Malaysian residents. And the third, they must be previous experience using the TripAdvisor for travel planning, reading review, or writing a review. And lastly, our participant must be the 18 years old and above and voluntarily agree to participate the survey. I will continue to the data for the collection. So the data of the study will be collected using the online questionnaire through the Google Forms. So the questionnaire is adapted from the previous validated for the study. A response will be measured using a 5-point Likert scale, and ranking for the strongly disagree and strongly agree. And before the actual data collection, a pre-test and pilot test will be conducted to ensure the validity and reliability of the research instrument. Alright, the next is about the theoretical significance. So, this study is contribute to the theory by the extending the application of the technology acceptance models, or TAM, and together with the concept of the value co-creation in the context of the digital tourism. So it also provides empirical evidence on the relationship between the precise platform usefulness and user participant behavior and value co-creation among the generation Gen Z TripAdvisor user. Therefore, this study is helped fill the existing the research gap that serve as a usefulness reference for the future research. So in the digital tourism and uses for the user to generate the content. Alright, the next is I will continue about the conclusion that we can conclude for this study is focused on our understanding how the perceived platform usefulness and user participation behavior influence purpose the methodology and include for the quantitative research and proposing for the sampling and online survey. So it provides a suitable approach to the achieve to the research objective. So it hopes can study will contribute to both the academic knowledge and the development of the digital tourism platform for the future.